TV marketing is all about communicating with your end consumer. Now, as earlier, a traditional marketing plan would pretty much include TV, print, radio. Unlike how it used to be earlier, I think over the years, TV marketing has also evolved, changed with times, changed with how technology has changed over the years. Whether it's purely digitization coming in from households watching and consuming TV on cable through cable, to today where households are digitized with whether it's digitized cable or whether it's DTH homes. So a traditional TV plan earlier would pretty much be, advertising and buying spots on TV channels. But today a TV plan has changed, evolved from spot buying on TV channels to even spot buying on platforms like a digital cable as well as DTH. Not only that, I think again from a traditional style of advertising on print and radio has today become important to change the style or change the approach of TV marketing and transfer the funds and transfer investment from traditional media to new media. So the growth of the change of people consuming content on traditional media to today consuming content through a YouTube or through any social platform makes you realize and rethink that to talk to the end consumer today you will need to reach out to them on platforms like a social media platform, whether it is Facebook or whether it's Twitter, to platforms like YouTube, whether it's YouTube, Videopia, Dailymotion. These are platforms where your end consumer today is spending far higher average time, and these are platforms which also help you interact and are not passive communicating platforms, which pretty much is what print and TV used to be and is. Whereas your social media platform today, you can actually, as a brand, you are not only communicating on your product, but you can interact with your end consumer. It becomes a platform where you also receive feedback instead of a one-way communication from the brand's perspective. Especially when you speak of social media, you realize how important platforms like Facebook or Twitter is. Again, it's not necessary that investments on these platforms will always give you conversion into ratings, because considering a TV product, unlike a lot of other FMCG, unlike a lot of other categories, TV marketing is all about chasing that one day opening, one day rating. So if I were to draw a parallel, it's pretty much similar to how the movie marketing space is. So it's chasing a one day, that weekend opening, and on TV it is chasing that one day opening. For that, it becomes extremely important for us that yes, one is conversion, that you can how you convert your viewers through communication to finally tuning in to the TV, tuning into your channel and viewing the product. But at the end of the day, it is also about interacting and being top of mind as a brand as far as consumers are concerned, and that is possible today on platforms which are new media platforms. Today, look at the kind of audience profile. If you were to skew younger, the youth is found on the mobile platform. The youth can be tapped in the online space. You are not only pushing your communication, you get a chance to interact with your end consumer. Your consumer is interacting with you not only on shows and their feedback and their perception and what their likes and dislikes, and hence it becomes a two-way communication. It's not necessary, from a marketer's perspective, you need to think differently of what you expect from these platforms. The expectation is not always conversion into ratings, maybe in the long run, but I think the expectation should be to be top of mind, to be a platform where you can also hear your consumer, instead of always communicating to them, and that I think is extremely important. And platforms, therefore platforms like a Facebook or a Twitter, you'll realize that when there's a two-way communication, it's a platform where your viewers are extremely vocal about their perspectives, what they think, and they will give you, and it's instant feedback. It's a platform which allows you to even help create a viral communication. It's a platform which allows you, gives you that opportunity to make, or whether for example if it's a social cause, it allows these kind of people on this platform to take it forward and create a viral effect by itself organically, which is not again a one-way communication. It happens because this platform allows you two-way communications. Another very important point to remember for any TV product marketer is what you're offering to your end consumer is content. What you're promoting, the way you promote the content on TV through a promo, through a creative, is done traditionally. But as far as the digital or the online space is concerned, the same communication may not be relevant for the digital or the online space. There are times when communication has to be tweaked as per what the kind of people who are in the online space, what are they expecting, what is the tonality of your communication which needs to be relevant for that space. And 99% of the time the tonality has to be different. There are times when the same campaign, the same promo, which is relevant for the TV viewer and probably relevant for TV as a media, is not relevant at all for the online space as a medium. There are times when we need to take a step back and understand how do viewers, what is the consumer behavior when they're consuming a platform like YouTube, when they are consuming a platform like Facebook. There are times when your communication strategy and especially your creative needs to change and must change, keeping in mind the consumer behavior on these platforms, which is very different from how consumer behaves when they're consuming a product like TV. Another big change that I think in terms of consumer pattern of consuming content that we've seen over the years is this habit of consuming content on multi-screens. Multi-screen has pretty much changed the way in which content also should be delivered to your end consumer. Years back, TV was probably the only platform of providing content, but in the current day and age, you must find options and ways of providing your content to the same consumer but in multiple platforms. The same consumer probably at some point of time, yes, would continue to consume content on TV, but in today's day and age, I think the same consumer is finding ways and means of consuming content on mobile, consuming content on their tab. And as a TV, as a content marketer, it is extremely important that you evolve with the times. You realize that this pre-notion of YouTube cannibalizing TV is not really true. There are n number of examples and number of situations where even internationally across the world that brands have realized, content producers have realized that it does not really affect a rating if you ensure that your content is available on multiple screens. It is only providing, and of course fighting piracy. Not only that, but I think it's also evolving with time that you're allowing your end consumer to watch you whenever and wherever they please to. It is convenient and it is being available. So whether we say digitization, I think it's also important to realize that today, for example, if I consider the youth, today most of the youth are consuming content on the online space. So whether they are on YouTube, whether they are on mobile, I think that is something that TV marketers must start taking note of and evolving hence. I think it's important for a TV product marketer to therefore realize that how is your consumer consuming you today and on which platforms. Once you've realized and once you've understood that, I think then you need to sort of prioritize and ensure that you reach out to your relevant target audience at the relevant point of communication. I think that is far more important than trying to design and work on a marketing plan which from a traditional perspective will probably only deliver you numbers. But it's also important to think sometimes beyond numbers and realize that there are platforms where your end consumer is probably spending far higher average time in a day. And is it more important that your brand or you're engaging with your consumer on new platforms rather than trying always to and attempting to always design a marketing plan with the traditional style of choosing media.